All right, so I have my personal values that I figured out in the values workshop, which are freedom, discipline, productive, being productive, growth, fun, health, responsibility, and simple or simplicity. And I have my 1 year plan, which is run for office, start LLC for our ice cream, win my VA claim, get six-pack abs, have a 300K net worth, take one international trip, dress well going out in public, uh, and be making 1K a month in supplemental income. Take 4-day weekend or 3-day weekend trips and weekly participation in my men's group. So the challenge is to see if my goals line up with my personal values. So let's check it out. All right, so first goal, run for office. First we got to make sure these goals are actionable. So coming up later on in January, we're going to find out what options are available to run for in 2026 in Shawnee County. So that's going to be when I pick what I'm going to run for. I'm going to have to register and then build my website, which I already got a guy for that. So that's my action plan. I would say that most aligns with my value of freedom because I'm going to run as a libertarian and I'm going to try to give myself and everybody else more freedom. Also, I guess it ties into responsibility because, this is our country, and if citizens aren't taking action, other people will. Productive, it ties into there, growth, personal growth, yeah, it definitely ties into that too. Fun, no, not so much. Or simple. But yeah, it definitely ties into my number one value of freedom. Back to starting the ice cream LLC. So right now we're in the process of making product. Then it's just a matter of making the LLC and then selling, which we already have a plan for our first pop-up sale. So that is in progress and have an action plan for that ice cream business. That would tie into, I guess, growth because I've never had a business before. So, learning new things, if nothing else. Also, productive, definitely going to have to be productive to have my own business. And freedom, hopefully, it leads to financial freedom. Win my VA claims. So I already enrolled with the VA Claims Academy. I just need to study and then keep my appointments. So that's my action plan for that goal. I would say that ties into probably financial freedom. So the first one, that's about the only one it aligns with. So that's not keeping with too many of my values, except for freedom. Let's see, six-pack abs. So to do that, I'm going to keep going to the gym. I try to go 3 times a week. That's usually the most I can go. I mean, if I can go 4 times any week, I will definitely do that. Do my truck exercises on the days that I cannot go to the gym, and I will keep doing my no sugar and no carbs, except for social situations, diet. That definitely ties into health. Definitely health. So, yep, aligns with that value completely. Discipline aligns with that value as well. Growth, yeah. And let's see, maybe responsibility, but definitely health, that's for sure, and discipline. Let's see, 300K net worth. So to do that, I'm going to work lots of overtime like I did last year. I'm going to live minimalistically like I did the last few years. Just going to keep doing that. And I'm going to find ways to try to get supplemental income, such as the ice cream business and the VA claim and my investments. That definitely ties into my value of freedom. And let's see, maybe productive and growth as well, possibly. Let's see, one international trip. I am going to Mexico. I already know where I'm going. And I already know just about when. I just got to lock it down. So that, I guess, that would be fun. And also responsibility, because it's going to be a family thing, but yeah, fun. See, dress well, going out in public. My plan for that is to wear a collar. And tuck in my shirts. So wear a collar, tuck in my shirts, and put on a tie if it's like a political event or something like that. That does not tie into any of my values because I don't really give a shit about it. That's what I'm just doing that to basically for the general public to see what my reaction will be. I get good reactions when I dress well and look presentable. So that's not a value that I have, but yeah, that one does not align with my values, but I'm going to do it anyway. Let's see, be making 1K a month in supplemental income. So to do that, I'm going to keep reinvesting my dividends, and I'm going to put more into my investments. Also, win the VA claim, and also try to make money with the ice cream business. And if I suddenly end up with more time, go back to selling my plasma. And that definitely ties into, freedom, financial freedom. That's what that one is all about. Also, I guess it could tie into simple a little bit, because the more that I make in supplemental income, the less I'll have to work in my day-to-day, less overtime and stuff I'll have to work. So it eventually will hopefully make my life more simple. But mostly it just ties into, the freedom, the financial freedom part of it. Let's see, 4-day weekend trips or 3-day weekend trips to Colorado, visit friends, Wisconsin, visit family, or visit, just army buddies. Or honestly, just go camping with the dog. So lots of little weekend trips. I did that last year. I wouldn't say that's a goal, but it's more of a resolution. And I did it last year, and I'll continue to do it. And that definitely ties into fun. And it ties into health because I'm out in nature. It also ties into simple, because when I'm out in nature, camping, I feel just at such peace. Like, that definitely is the one where I feel like my life is simple and I understand everything that's going on. I'm living my best caveman self. All right, weekly participation in my men's group. So I'm going to do my homework for it, and I'm going to be on time for all the calls. And that definitely ties into responsibility. And in health, definitely mental health. And growth, productive, all those different things. And discipline, because you're being on time and all that. So the only one of my goals for 2026 that really doesn't align with my personal values is dressing well, going out in public. But that's all right. I can do it anyway. I'll say most of my goals are about the freedom, especially financial freedom. Also, a lot that about health and discipline, productivity, growth, a little bit about fun and responsibility. And as of right now, simple and simplicity is the value that I struggle the most to live because I'm hustling at this point. So, hustling ain't simple. You got to have a lot of irons in the fire. And yeah, there weren't very many of my goals that aligned with simplicity, which makes sense that I'm struggling to live that value. But, it's still one of my values. And down the road, as I get more financial freedom, hopefully I can start living it. So yeah, seems like my goals are all pretty actionable, which cool, my goals, they are ones that I can do, I can accomplish. I have a plan for all of them. And they're very doable. They're going to take a lot of work, but I mean, that's just life.